All right, what's up, you guys? This is the spoiler class. This is the class of spoilers, where we
Hell yeah.
introduce the concept of spoilers. This is Spoiler Class 101. I am your professor Nick, and that is my teacher's assistant Jake. Today we're going over
Drinking
the
coffee
syllabus.
at 9 p.m. Let's go, baby.
Yep. The syllabus for today includes Loki episode 2. What did you think? What did you think of it?
What did I think of it? Okay.
Yeah. What
Let
did
me
you
break
think?
it down for you.
All right, break it down. All
I'll
right,
give you a
this
quick
is.
breakdown.
I'm
of what I
throwing the
thought.
show. Throwing the show to you. This is it.
Yeah.
This is when you have the floor.
Beginning
Students, listen up.
beginning of the
important.
episode. In
Mhm.
all honesty, at beginning of the episode, I was not feeling it, right? Like he's talking to the Miss Minute, which I don't get it. The little animated thing. And
Oh yeah.
like some of the dialogue was getting a little cheesy, but then Owen Wilson just kept being Owen Wilson, and like I was like, oh my god. And then like the two of them like started like hanging out more. I'm like, I think I'm falling in love with this show right now. Like,
Yeah, dude.
yeah, it really won me over as the show progressed, because like I was like actually intrigued with like who is the person, like how are they gonna do it, how are they gonna, I don't even know. And what really sold it for me, Nick,
Mm.
what really sold it for me, and what really
Uh-huh.
like brought me over to the other side of like really liking this episode from the beginning of the episode where I was like to yeah, this episode ruled, was that conversation they had while like eating lunch, and
At the lunch. Yeah.
and they're like,
Which
so,
one was it? When he's like, let's take a walk, or when he's just like pouring all the salt and
no,
shit
no.
on it?
Neither.
Neither one of those. Okay.
The one where they're sitting there and they're like, so you really believe in all this, huh?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I mean, like, if you think about it too much, like, where did you come from? And then it was like
Mhm.
actually like a discussion of God and like
Right. Yeah.
the
It was pretty
meaning of
cool.
life in the MCU. And it's like, yeah,
And
this all could be bullshit.
and
Yeah,
what does it matter?
I
What
really,
the fuck does it matter? Yeah.
I love that scene. That scene was great.
That was a solid scene. I do have to say I did like the little animated clock.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. It threw me off at first. I'm like, oh, he's watching TV, and I'm like, holy shit, no, he's not. That's actually there.
Yeah.
And like he interacts with it, and it's kind of cheesy, but it's pretty funny. Um, yeah, it started off kind of goofy, and that like first scene where he's like, he's waiting outside for you, and he's gonna ambush us again, and you guys are all gonna die. I'm like, all right, well, he's obviously lying. Like it obviously was like that's how it was going. It was like, okay. And they just kind of pushed it a little much, and I'm like, okay, is this show gonna be good? Is this show actually like going somewhere? And then as soon as they like started working on the case like a detective
Mm-hmm.
kind of comedy, it got really good. And like they go to the Pompeii before the volcano explodes, and he releases all the goats, and he's just like fucking with everybody. He's like, I told you, bitch, this is exactly what would happen. I fucking loved it. There's not a whole lot to say about it because we haven't really learned anything. The
I
way
mean,
I feel like this show is going is it's just a bunch of questions. Like
yeah.
it's just like, okay, well, what's gonna happen? What could happen? Oh, there's literally anything could happen. We learned who the protagonist is. It's
Antagonist.
yeah, antagonist. You're right. We learned who the antagonist is, and it's female Loki.
Lady
Which
Loki.
I could have pinned it on like literally anybody in
Yeah.
the MCU. Like it could be anybody. It's like it doesn't necessarily have to be Loki. And then she takes the hood and she's got the horns, and it's like, oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Well,
Um,
he did say in the previous episode, it's you.
right,
You
but
know.
how do they even know?
They know because the way they made it seem is like Loki is always causing fucking trouble. And then they showed like all these different variants of Loki, which I really
Yeah.
dug. And I hope we get to see some, maybe not those particular ones, but like I hope we get to see some more variants of Loki. Because, yeah, those were great. Like there's the big hulked up one, the big
Mhm.
like hulked up yellow one, and then like the one in like, I don't know. Like there's just a bunch of different
There's
ones I
just a
don't know.
bunch of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was really cool, and I'm really glad at the way that it ended because I'm like, oh shit, he's got some shit that he needs to figure out, and he needs to like. I feel like the show is going the obvious direction of like Loki's the bad guy, and you think he's the bad guy up until the very end, and then he's like, it was all a fucking trick, and I was planning this pretty much from the beginning, and just formulating a plan as we went. Um, yeah, I feel like shit's gonna work out in everybody's favor
Well,
because
it kind of seems like he's already like doing that. He's playing every angle, and that's like Loki's thing. Is like it could go one way, and he'll turn it to make it that his favor or whatever, and it's going another way, and he'll make that work in his favor. Like no matter what, he's gonna make it work in his favor, and
right.
like that's like his thing. I really liked when like she was revealed, Lady Loki,
Hmm.
and it was like she questioned for a minute. She's like, "Is this a better Loki than me? Like
Right. Yeah.
is this Loki?" And
Yeah.
she
Well,
and he's
they
like,
were
"Is
both
she better
doing
than?"
that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because they're like, this could be. I really like that line too, where he's like, "I'd never treat myself like this."
Yeah.
When he's like
Yeah,
getting his
that's
ass whooped. Yeah.
that's a really I've that scene where she's just like switching people and like the voice is coming from different voices is just really cool to me. Like in any sort of I just love scenes like that where it's just like we're not actually talking to that person, but that person is being relayed via somehow,
Yeah.
and it was really interesting. And then they switched the characters up, and you could hear another voice, and I was like, wow, this is actually really well done. Um, yeah, I thought it was great. I'm super excited to see what happens, and like he,
I'm curious to see like because like do you think Lady Loki is actually bad or like because to me it's almost like maybe there's a bigger it almost seems likely that there's some sort of bigger thing out there and Loki are well and she doesn't like to be called Loki but um Loki and what was the name was it like
Randy.
James's
It
Randy.
was Randy.
Yeah, Loki and Randy are gonna work together to defeat like the timekeepers or whatever. But like,
Well,
there, I'm almost under the impression that these timekeepers don't even really exist. I almost feel like it's gonna be like a Wizard of Oz scenario
yeah,
where
I'm thinking the same thing.
where
I'm get
actually the lady in that office is the one running the show.
right.
Actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I can totally see that. Or they've been like dead forever. Like the timekeepers just they were a thing, but
Yeah,
they're
now they're
not
dead.
anymore. And so people are just kind of keeping up that facade. Like, what do we live for at this point? What is
Mm-hmm.
our like motivation? Like even Mobius says it. He's like, I have purpose. But if the timekeepers aren't there, what the fuck is his purpose? And I feel like that would be like everybody in the TVA would just kind of crumble and it wouldn't work anymore. Um, so I feel like that could be an instance of it. And I think that it'll be the end of the show as they like get into the throne room or whatever, and there's nobody there. And then
Yeah,
somebody steps up and explains the whole thing. They're like, yeah, they've been dead forever, and we're just trying to keep this timeline going.
my theory, yeah, is like the show's gonna end with like all the timelines sort of just like exploding, and there's gonna be like a bunch of timelines that branch off, and like, and that's gonna lead right into Spider-Man, and then
Hmm.
like that's gonna lead into Doctor Strange, and like they're gonna have to deal with the ramifications of this show. Like I feel like
Yeah.
this show is
Hmm.
gonna have some huge
It's
ramifications.
it's like the stepping stone to the movies. It's
Yeah,
like it gets your tongue wet or your palate wet. It wets your palate rather. Get your
yeah,
tongue wet. Um, yeah, it gets your palate wet, and you're like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Because we still got like white. um I want to say Flash, but that's not right. White Vision is still out there somewhere. Like,
True.
where the fuck is he? I feel like there's a loose end in Bucky and uh, Captain America, and there's definitely going to be some loose ends here for sure, especially with the time split. Even in this episode, like
Yeah.
they like bomb the bomb. I don't know what that means, but they like bomb the what do they call it? The timeline, this very specific timeline that everybody,
Yeah,
the
the
sacred
sacred
timeline.
timeline, yeah.
She like bombs the sacred timeline, and like everything just starts splitting off.
Yeah, I
And
was very confused by like how that works, cuz it's like I thought those bombs were meant to fix things and like get rid of things. And like we have already established that if you make changes during a disaster, like where they were, nothing
there's
would
nothing to
change.
stop it. Yeah,
So her lighting off those bombs, how did that affect the timelines?
it might not have,
But then it went back to the office, and it's like, look at all these jutting timelines that were happening, you know?
but then again, uh, they they don't see, like, they're not getting any like anomaly detection from like splitting of timelines. So how does that even show up on their computer? I feel like something is just wrong there. It could either be
Well,
um
I mean,
just
the implication was that whatever she did caused that to happen, and we'll find
right
out in the next episode.
in one
But
way or another. Maybe it was just like a setup. Excuse me. Maybe it was just like a setup where she made everybody think that it was kind of like splitting off because it's Loki, you know? It could be like, oh shit, we need to get everybody out there to fix the timeline, whereas nothing's wrong with the timelines. Nothing actually happened, and then they just kind of stroll in and take over the place, or whatever you know, her objective is with what's
she
going on.
she definitely
But
kept that door open long enough for Loki to get in there, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, easily,
she did that on purpose, right?
yeah, yeah. There's no way because she's just like, okay, see you around, I guess. And he's like, fuck that. I'm not staying back there. I'm heading with you. I want to figure out what's going on. But I feel like the reaction that he has with Asgard, where he's like learning that Asgard is like completely destroyed and he starts tearing up and stuff. Like that's not a trick because it's just him, right? I feel like if that is a trick and he's not actually sad about Asgard blowing up or whatever, then it's a trick on the audience, and that just doesn't feel very good, you
No,
know?
he's sad about it for sure. Like,
So, but he never lived through it. He's just kind of like reading stories about the future that he has not experienced himself.
but like
So I feel like
that's still his, his
his
home,
path, right, right, but
and that's his
the
people, and he wanted to rule over those people and his brother and
right,
Odin, because he wasn't just crying about Ragnarok, he was also crying about um the death of himself
right,
and his dad, and
and his mom, yeah. But if with that in mind, I feel
you
like
think he's trying to change the path so that doesn't happen.
I think she's trying to change the path. I think that's her goal. Because if they have like the same sort of connection and they've realized like the timeline and they're just like, I need to fix this before shit goes sour for Asgard, um, then it would be in her best interest in the show in the movie franchise best interest to keep Asgard alive, you know, in one way or another. Um, So I feel like her end goal is to change the timeline so that Asgard survives and is not destroyed by Hela and that demon thing that I don't remember the name of. Um,
Crown Man. But like
yeah.
ultimately it was Thor that released him, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, because he's like, okay, well, if we don't release him, then she's gonna live and never stop following us. So we have to release him
so
and
we
just
have to kill
save.
9,000 people apparently.
Well, no, the 9,000 people got on board
It said
the space.
9,000 casualties.
Yeah, they got aboard the spaceship, and then
Oh, and then Thanos killed
Purple
them all.
Man shows up and he kills them all. Yeah.
Well, Thanos killed half of them, right? That's his thing.
Well,
Kills
no,
half.
because then he shows up
It's
on the
true.
ship and he kills Loki and all. I'm assuming everybody else. I haven't seen Endgame in a long time, but
No,
yeah,
because they do they make mini Asgard or whatever. Small Asgard.
yeah, on the ship that gets blown up.
But in Endgame, remember they go to
Oh,
mini
yeah, they go to
Asgard.
like the island and
Because
stuff,
that's
and then
Thanos'
yeah,
thing. He kills half of the people, right? So like he killed
right.
half the people on the ship.
Well, then maybe the half that didn't,
So
because
there were
people
20,000 people on that
people
ship.
still died. Like even
Yeah.
like the people who were physically killed by uh
These
by
are so
Thanos
semantics.
still died. Right? The people who physically were killed by Thanos still died. The people who were blipped came back. So if you died in the time of the blip, you're dead. You don't come back, you know? So maybe like half of the people came back and
But that
they're
was
like,
pre-blip.
was it?
Yeah, that's an Infinity War.
Well, then they're all dead.
No, half of
Except
them.
for like, no.
He killed half of them. They say that, I'm pretty sure, in the movie, where it's like they killed half the Asgardians or whatever.
I don't know. We're gonna have to rewatch it. Anyway, we're not talking about Infinity War or Endgame. We're talking about Loki and
I mean, it's all connected. To me, Lady Loki, right? And,
mhm,
just for lack of a better term, that's what I'm going to call her for right now.
Randy.
Yeah, Randy. Randy just feels like a convenient way to recast Tom Hiddleston. And, like, it's fine. It's the same Loki, different actor, but it's the same Loki, you know?
What you
Uh,
think he wouldn't do like more Loki shit? You think they're trying to recast Loki?
he's done how many movies now?
Up quite a bit, but I think he enjoys
He's
it.
done like 5, 6 movies. Yeah, but at a certain point, he's gonna keep asking for more, and Marvel's gonna be like, "Well, we could just recast." And you did 6, you got your money. Go do what you want to do. You know.
True.
At a certain point, it seems like over. No one's done over 6 movies, right? Like,
Iron Man.
yeah, he's it. They did 3 of those, and then he was in
Well, 6
Civil.
movies. That's a pretty low number though for the Marvel because I think Captain America, Chris Evans,
Mm-hmm.
has done more than that because he did all of the Avengers, which is 4 right there. Then he has the 3 on his own. He's got uh Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and
Civil War.
Civil War. So, that's still quite a bit. That's 7 for most of the characters.
But that's
Thor's
for
got 7 as well.
yeah, yeah.
So,
But like, Jane Foster feels like the same thing, where it's like, hey, this is a pretty good way to recast Thor and still have Thor, but like now it's a new Thor.
who's Jane Foster?
Jane
Oh,
Foster.
the chick who's like running New Asgard.
No,
Except
no, 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 no. That's Valkyrie. No, no, no. Jane Foster was Natalie Portman, who was Thor's girlfriend in the Thor movies, played by
right?
Natalie Portman. They're bringing her
Uh-huh.
back. She's gonna be Thor in this new movie. She's gonna be Lady Thor. It's
What?
called Thor: Love and Thunder. It's based off the comics, dude. Jane Foster turns into Thor.
Huh.
Like it's a thing that happens.
I never read
That's
Thor really.
that's what
Um,
the new movie is. Yeah, it's
oh,
Jane
interesting.
Foster. Yeah,
But then he's also with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah, yeah. Who knows?
So
Maybe, maybe.
they're doing like two separate things with that. It's
Yeah, but Thor
interesting.
Thor comes out before Guardians, so maybe it
Oh,
was
okay.
just like they were chit chatting, fucking around, and then he's like, "Okay, just kidding, guys. I gotta go." You know?
And then he's like, "Okay, I'm back to
Yeah.
fuck up your day." Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I don't know if I like that, but we'll see.
I mean, we'll see. They'll make it
If
work
it
out.
if it works in the timeline, it'll be fun. But
I think initially they wanted another Guardians, but then all that shit with James Gunn happened,
yeah,
all that drama. Now he's making Suicide Squad. Anyway, Loki, I thought was cool. I don't really have much more to say other than um, the
it's
timeline shit
intriguing.
doesn't make sense, but I appreciate that, like, in the show, they're like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Don't think about it too hard. And
Yeah,
that's what won me over on the show was like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. And it never will. So
it
stop trying
never
to make
will.
it make sense,
Yeah, it could be canonical. It could be completely bullshit. It doesn't matter. It's all in time, and it doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I did really like that scene though. It was very like, what is existence?
Yeah, it was the
And
best scene in the show for sure. And then like
and
Owen Wilson just like continually being like, "Oh wow, isn't it crazy that we're just out here in space doing crazy things together?"
It's crazy, and all you really need is purpose, and that's it. That's all
He's
you need.
he's lying.
Ka-chow. Oh,
he's
ka-chow.
he's lying. You almost got me there. Wow.
Wow.
Oh
Wow,
wow.
you almost pulled the wool over my eyes there.
That,
Wow.
that's crazy. Wow. Isn't
I
it
love
crazy?
I love Owen
We're
Wilson,
just
dude.
out here in a timeline that doesn't make much sense.
Just give in to the tea. Give in to the power of the tea.
I've never even been to Mount Vesuvius.
I've never even been to Mount Vesuvius. Damn, dude. Owen Wilson, what a guy.
Mm-hmm.
What a guy. He's the
I love
same
him.
character in everything,
Yo,
but
what if
he's
there's a variant? There's a variant of Owen Wilson, and it's Luke Wilson.
hmm. That does bring up a question about like what would happen if
How
there's
do
like
they
a
exist?
variant. Yeah,
Like
that's kind of what I'm.
like, are there variants of them? Are they part of
Where
the
do they
sacred
exist?
timeline, or are they
Yeah,
not part of the sacred timeline?
it
Are
doesn't
they
matter.
variants themselves? Are they all Loki? You know,
Is it all an illusion created by Dormammu
you're
to
living in an
summon
illusion.
all of the sorcerers of the planet to to a duel of the minds?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a comic, by the way, but it's a really cool one. Um,
Rustolium 1. Oh my god, my dad's in the comments.
oh my goodness, look at this man. Look at this man. I
um,
love this man.
yeah, I don't know. Loki, pretty cool. I mean,
I like it.
pretty cool.
I
Pretty cool.
feel like I feel like whereas like Falcon and Winter Soldier had the punch like every episode, there was like something that
Action,
happens. It
action
would yeah, it
packed.
was just like this happens. And it's like, wow, that was a good episode. We can talk about a lot and unpack a lot. Loki, I feel, on the other hand, is like, well, we're just gonna have to wait and fucking see.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just gonna like,
Well,
we don't really know what's going on. We can say what we saw, but like what are our interpretations is, it's like it could be anywhere at this point, you
well,
know?
there is one theory, right? So the one of the timekeepers, right, and the one that's seated right behind the lady in the office. I forget her name, right? He apparently looks a lot like the villain that's supposedly gonna be in that new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, which
Oh, really?
I can't remember the name of the villain. I know this is not very good. This isn't very insightful. But yeah, apparently he looks like the villain that's going to be an Ant-Man and the Wasp, and apparently he has a wife in the comics, so everyone's like, "Oh, maybe she's his wife." And like that's the connection, but who fucking knows? I don't know, man.
I mean, everything in the Marvel universe is connected in
I mean,
some way.
there's 60 years of comics, like you can make any sort of connection you want, and then they're
Hmm.
going to be like, "No, it doesn't." The one thing that like really like it intrigues me about that theory is that he does look exactly like him with
Does
like the
he?
weird like yeah he
Hmm.
looks exactly like him.
Is it like the new Ant-Man and Wasp coming out, or like the newest one that did come out?
The new one that's coming out. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Ant-Man, isn't it called something weird? And the
I
Quantumania.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I know, dude. I
They're
know.
getting bad. They're getting bad. Wakanda forever. Like,
Yeah. Uh,
come on.
Ghost? I don't know, man.
It's
I
not
don't know.
Ghost. Ghost was the second one. Ant-Man, Wasp, third villain.
Maybe if I typed in Quantumania Loki, I'll just find it. Ant-Man and the Wasp star Jonathan Majors plays Koi on rumors about. Oh, Kang, of course. Yeah, Kang.
Hang,
Yeah. Who?
not Khan.
Yeah, Kang.
Hang, the Conqueror.
And apparently, Jonathan Majors was cast a long time ago for this movie that's not supposed to come out till next year, which makes everyone go, well, then he's in Loki. you know, he was cast forever ago. Like he's probably in the
Yeah,
show. It's very believable. And he does. If you look up Kang, he looks just
I'm
like one of
looking at
those
him right now.
He looks like one of those timekeepers.
He does have that like time lord sort of look, doesn't he? What a weird poll though. Like if that's true, that's such an obscure poll.
Is
You
it?
know? I feel like it is. I've never heard
Kang,
of him.
Kang is like one of the bigger bads, but like there's only so many that you could pull from. We've already done so many of the villains. You know,
Yeah.
who else is there? Oh, what was the store they were at? Roxxon, right? Or Rocksmart. That was
Yeah.
a nice little callback to Iron Man 2.
Was it?
Yeah, because Roxxon was like the competitor of of Stark Industries, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then they're like ruining the whole world or whatever. Dude, did you see the dates on like all of the apocalypses that happen when they're going through the apocalypse? They're going through them in like chronological order. It's like, well, it can't be this of this year. It can't be this of this year. And all of them are within like the next 20 years.
I feel
And
like
it's like there's
that
15 of them and it's like what is going to happen? Like holy shit, the world just goes to shit
I
in the
feel like
next
that
20
was
years.
I kind of felt like that was a political statement almost.
Yeah, for sure.
I felt like that was like, hey, our planet's totally messed up and global warming is real, so there's going to be a lot of catastrophes in the next few years. I felt like that was a political statement.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it though. It was kind of like, holy hell.
but
Holy hell.
Roxxon was like a callback to Justin Hammer, which Justin Hammer, not dead. He's not dead. He could show up again.
I don't know who Justin Hammer
Oh,
is.
dude, we got to watch Iron Man 2 soon.
I like that's the only one I don't remember.
Dude, he's great. He's the best part of that movie.
Justin. Is that the one where all like the suits come alive and they're all like
yeah.
shooting at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a great movie, but he's great in that movie. Okay, because that movie is it's ruined by Whiplash.
Mm.
Because they're like,
Yeah,
we need
we're
a
just
big
gonna have to
villain.
watch it. I
We need a
do
big
not
villain
remember
that-
this.
Yeah,
I'm
We'll
looking at
watch it.
pictures and I'm like, I don't remember this man. But
he's great, dude. He's great. He does a little dance.
no,
It's great.
making a little love.
Yeah,
Get down tonight.
but I'm sure you remember. You remember Whiplash, though.
I do. The stupid
Want
guy
my
right at the
board.
beginning who's just like whipping and lashing, and
This was a very tangent heavy episode, wasn't
it sure was.
I want to
I
ask
am
one
Loki,
question.
son of Odin, Prince of Asgard.
Thanks.
I bet you are.
Thanks, Rusty. I want to ask you one question though.
I'll answer this one question.
Are we gonna see Steve Rogers in
No,
this fucking show?
we are not going to see
Dude,
Steve
we
Rogers
gotta
in this
see
show.
Steve Rogers in this show, man. We gotta
Why?
see Steve Rogers
Why?
because he's taking the stones back. This show has everything to do with timelines and like.
Apparently, that was supposed to happen, though.
Yeah, but like I want to see Steven. Steven Rogers.
Steven, you saw him at the beginning.
Stephen Rohors.
Rogers.
Steven Rogers.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Steph Raj.
Dude, I love the quotes that Rust-Oleum 1 has given us. It's
Every villain is a
fantastic.
hero in his own mind. Every hero is a villain in his own mind. That was in the new episode of Loki. Very good line, too.
It was. It was
That's
very good.
a very good line delivered by Lady Loki, said that? Or was that Loki Loki
No,
that
I
said
think
that?
that was just Loki.
I think it was.
I think he was just like talking in the elevator with oh wow,
Oh,
Lightning
wow. I'm
McQueen.
Owen Wilson.
I'm
Wow. It's
Lightning
crazy.
McQueen.
Everything here is just, it's wild. It's insane.
Oh,
Wow.
oh wow. Oh
Oh,
wow.
ka-chow. Wow.
Oh, good job.
Oh wow. You know Rusty is just like on Wikipedia and it's like here's famous quotes from Loki.
It's just like, well, that's gonna wrap it up for us. We've talked about this and gone on a fucking tangent for too long. Uh,
A
I
perfect
like this
amount of
show.
time, I'd say.
I know. It was a good amount of time. I like the way Marvel set up because we can go on tangents and it's still relevant.
Yeah,
I
everything's
like
relevant.
that. I love that. They've done a really good job creating the universe. But so far, I like the show. It's probably right there on par with WandaVision for me. It's not quite as good as like Falcon Winter Soldier, but it has potential to be better or worse. It could be either way.
So for me, much like WandaVision, this show has that comic book shit, you know? That's like
Hmm.
it's fantastical, it's wild, and that's what I really like in comic books. And like Captain America like felt more you know, it's still comic books, but
Realistic.
yeah, they
Yeah.
wanted it to be more grounded, which, you know, that's cool
It
too.
works for those characters.
Yeah, it's cool too, but I like the more fantastical stuff. So, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think WandaVision definitely had that punch though. Like
Right at the beginning. Yeah.
those first few episodes, really up until the last episode, that show is fantastic. So, this
Yeah.
show took me a minute. It wasn't until like halfway through this episode that I was like, okay, I'm in, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
So it's only up from here. Fingers
hopefully
crossed. Anyway.
hopefully we'll
Fingers
see.
crossed.
We'll see. The jury still out, you know.
Yeah, they're on the lunch break, so they won't be back for another like 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz it's 6 episodes, so we're a third through the show.
Yeah. They got a lot. They have to do a lot of shit to pick it up. Anyway, that's it. That's it for us. That's been Loki Spoilercast episode dose. Stick around next week. We'll be here. We'll be back. It'll be a different time. We'll probably do it Wednesday.
We'll
Uh,
do it Wednesday same time.
yeah, 8:30 Pacific
8:30.
time. Um, tune in, especially you, Rusty. You better tune in.
Yeah.
Now that I see you in here, you better come to all of the soccer games. You
Yeah,
know,
also hit that donation button, huh?
donation. But
Don't
hey,
really.
if you
Don't really.
could follow us, that'd be great too.
Also,
Anyway,
yeah, for real, do that.
that's it.